If you guys are old enough to remember the iconic Jenny from the Block music video, you will surely still remember the romance between JLo and Ben Affleck that happened in the early 2000s. But if you don't remember, don't worry, because in this video I will tell you all about that, because Ben has made some new confessions regarding this topic. He also made some other confessions about fighting his own demons and the biggest regret of his life. So fam, make sure to hit the bell button and the subscription button and get your popcorn ready, because we are going to stay here for a while. During the most recent years, Ben Affleck has been in the headlines almost every single month for the addictions, the disease that has led him to lose the most valuable thing in his life, his family, and then of course his career. Though one of the roles he has lost was probably for the best, because his version of the iconic Batman was a complete failure. So hopefully Robert Pattinson would do a much better job. Now let's first talk about the romance with JLo back in 2003. This pair met on the set of another flop called JLo. Just to give you an idea of how bad the movie box office did, the budget was $54 million, but it only earned $7.3 million at the box office. So yeah, probably some salaries exceeded the money the movie actually made. But one good thing came out of this movie, and that was the relationship between Ben and Jen. Soon after the movie, the couple started dating, and right after that, they announced their engagement. Just as quickly as they jumped into their engagement, the couple ended up canceling their wedding. But what exactly happened? Who left who? I'm gonna tell you all about that in a bit. Back then, there were many speculations, but no one really knew what exactly had happened. All we knew was that Ben was the one who called off the wedding. However, recently, after 16 years, the actor himself has decided to clarify everything. And one of the questions that had remained unanswered for almost 2 decades was whether the two stars were still in touch. While Ben did not reveal too many details about this, he did make it clear, in fact, that they still had a good relationship, that he had a great respect for her, and that they had remained on the best of terms. One thing that Ben said, though, received even more attention, and that was his opinion about the most recent performance of JLo. To him, Jennifer should have been nominated for an Oscar for her performance in Hustlers. Jennifer Lopez was not the only ex-partner that Ben talked about recently. He also talked about his ex-wife Jennifer Garner. But before telling you what he said about her, I'm going to review their beautiful love story. Before Ben, in 2000, Jennifer got married to actor Scott Foley. However, their marriage did not last long, and the couple got a divorce in 2004. But then, in 2005, Garner got married for the second time, but with Ben Affleck, with whom she had met in 2001 during the filming of Pearl Harbor. 2 years later, in 2003, they acted together again in the movie Daredevil. After they decided to join their lives and both were ready to start a beautiful family, which is what they did. Together, they had 3 children, Violet, Serafina, and Samuel. However, unfortunately, not all the romantic stories end with "and they lived happily ever after." So in 2015, the couple separated when it came to light that Affleck had cheated on Jennifer with the nanny. But the actor's infidelity was not the only trigger for their split. Ben's problems in controlling his alcohol use ended up breaking all the hope of any of them that they had for a reconciliation. Now that we have reviewed their love story, let's see what he talked about in his interview with the New York Times. So, instead of hating or blaming Ben, Jennifer helped her ex-husband and the father of her 3 children to fight with his demons and to get ahead in life. So for this reason, in Ben's own words, what he regrets most in his life is divorcing the person he had decided to spend the rest of his life with. And since we're talking about the revealing and moving interview Affleck is given, we also applaud him for being so candid about his struggles with alcohol abuse and the fact that he is working towards healing and overcoming his own demons. Speaking of his alcoholism, Ben admitted that he is the one who is fully responsible for the failure of his marriage. His exact words were, "People with this compulsive behavior, I am one. I have this kind of basic discomfort all the time that they're trying to make go away. You're trying to make yourself feel better with eating or drinking or sex or gambling or shopping or whatever, but that ends up making your life worse. Then you do more of it to make that discomfort go away. Then the real pain starts. It becomes a vicious cycle you can't break. That's at least what happened to me. I drank relatively normally for a long time. What happened was I started drinking more and more when my marriage was falling apart. This was 2015-2016. My drinking, of course, created more marital problems. It's not particularly healthy for me to obsess over the failures, the relapses, and beat myself up. I have certainly made mistakes. I have certainly done things that I regret, but you've got to pick yourself up, learn from it, learn something more, and try to move forward. Kudos to you, Mr. Ben, for setting a great example for people who are going through the same thing. Now, at 47, after having hit rock bottom, the actor is trying to start again, doing everything in his power to get back on track. However, it has not been easy for Ben to leave his past behind. And in a time that social media decides whether someone has to be forgiven or not, Ben was involved in a #MeToo movement case in 2017. Hillary Burton, the MTV presenter, confessed that the actor had groped her in 2003. Finally, Affleck wrote, "I acted inappropriately, and I sincerely apologize." And now it is up to the public to decide whether they want to forgive him or not. The truth is that Ben's self-redemption is serious, and it is even clear from the recent movie The Way Back, which says the story of a former basketball all-star who has lost his family in a struggle with addiction. The movie tells the story of his attempts to come back by becoming the coach of a high school basketball team, just like how he is in real life, but the only difference is that he is a movie star. Considering Ben's complicated background, it seems like he will have his best performance in this movie. I can't wait to see the movie. He is so serious about his self-redemption that he has even publicly talked about it in his interview with the New York Times. In his appearance on Good Morning America, he talked about how difficult it was to accept that he has a serious illness. Ben confessed that he didn't want his children to pay for his sins or to be afraid of him, which is one of the hardest parts of being the child of an alcoholic. Affleck knows this better than anyone since his dad was also an alcoholic. He added that he didn't want for his children to see the TMZ footage of him falling off the wagon. He wishes that it never was on the internet for them to see. But it is what it is. He cannot change what has already happened. It is better to focus on what is yet to come and his future. Well, they say that sometimes it's necessary to hit rock bottom and to lose everything to realize what we have been taking for granted all of this time. Do you think that Ben has learned his lessons and this time he is ready to start a new chapter in his life? Do you also want to see him on the big screen again? Tell me your ideas in the comment section, and remember to like and share and become part of our CURIOSIPS family by subscribing to our channel. Until next time.